Hello, I'm back at Hury with my friend Peter for a day's fly fishing. On the map you can see now highlighted in red are the areas that we fished. East New Houses area was definitely the best of the day.
So get yourself down to the water's edge there. Do a cast, just try to catch that first bit of ripple there, and keep your beady eyes peeled, and fan your casts out, you know, so you do one in front of you, one or two further down, one or two up, and obviously if you see a fish bulge or move, try and cover it. But if you cast to a fish and you think it's a bad cast, don't just pull it off and think I'll get a better one. Just leave it put, because honestly, even a bad cast, well, half the time they tend to take on your rubbishy casts rather than the good ones, you know. Yeah. But there's usually fish patrolling all the way along here, right into that corner. Yeah. So I'll be with you in a second. No hysteria, you know, no screaming fish on and awesome. Yeah. I think I can see it. I think I can see the fly. Yeah. Oh, damn it, it's gone right into the canvas. Ah, that's it. There we are. It's an awkward wind, isn't it?
With the awkward wind and the fact that nothing seemed to be happening, I thought I'd go on the hunt and see whether I could see some fish moving at one or two of my favourite spots. So I left Peter fishing. Peter's a great deal more patient than I am. He actually had hold of a fish which then dropped off, which is so often the way when you're fishing with small barbless flies. Anyway, I made a bit of a fool of myself here, mistaking gas bubbles arising for fish moving, so we didn't have any luck on this particular bit, unfortunately.
Oh, there's a fish rising there, Peter, just where my rod's pointing. And another one over there by the...
This is an interesting bit of Hury where this burn runs in. There was a lot of storm water coming down, so most of the time it's nothing like as deep or as heavy flowing as it is at the moment. I did see quite a number of fish, genuine fish, moving around, and if you look at the moment by the plants at the side of the reservoir, you'll see I bring a fish up to the surface, but it failed to take my flies. There's a swirl there now.
few fish in here.
Yes,
I've put onto wet flies because they weren't interested in a dry fly, but there was one off the edge of the bush there, and there's been one close to the bank, and two further out. There's the usual gas bubbles coming out, but they're definitely, I mean, I've seen the fish, the big rainbows, you know. That's typical. I was casting near that bush, caught it, and then lost my bloody flies on it. Yeah. Nice fish, but you've got to watch when they do this head lunging thing. They're so much harder than brown trout to estimate when they're finished, you know, because you can think the fish is finished and then it'll suddenly do a really violent head shake that snaps your line, you know. Right, it's on a wee March brown, little March brown, just in the anyway. So away you go. Just going a bit further down actually.
Next fish is interesting because I always try and cover very close to where I'm standing, where I'm fishing, because you never know how close a fish may be from you. But this one is like a rod and a half lengths out from the side, and it grabbed the fly with determination, but unfortunately it fell off. You'll see a close-up in a moment of it actually taking the fly. And after this fish that just drops off Bart's company, I strapped a waterproof action camera to my leg and had the bright idea of trying to catch a fish moving about underwater, which didn't work out at all well because of the amount of sediment I was kicking up. So when you see the pantomime round Peter's fish that I'm playing, that's the reason for it. So enjoy it anyway.
I'll do it for you, Peter. Have I got a... God, it drops away like crazy there. Right. Put a bit of weight on it. Just pull your line if you've made a... Bring them up. I want to see this thing in the camera. And it's pulling hard, isn't it? You can't even see it. I say you can't even see it, it's so peaty.
Have you got a net with you? Or?
Yeah, it's in my hand. I'm just oh, I'm not going to swipe at it.
No.
It's a nice fish. Try and get him in front of the camera. Oh shit. Right, lift him up now. He's got a love affair with what's going on down there, hasn't he? Just get up. Oh shit. That's it. Right. I'm determined to get a picture of him in the bloody net. Are you wanting to keep this one?
No.
Right. Yeah. Right. Now hopefully, hopefully that was recording when all that was going on. Christ, there's a bloody heap hole down there. Yeah, all right.
two friends just having a lunch break. I thought I would talk a little bit about the tackle used. In my case, it's a 11-foot witchwood drift. Peter was using a 10-foot witchwood drift, both 3 line rated, and I was using my multiplying fly reel as per usual. My fly that really started to catch the fish for me was this variation of a black and peacock spider done with a furnace hackle instead of the usual black hackle. This was tied to a leader strength of approximately 6 pounds, and with my leaders I use these little micro rings, or whatever they call them, that are about 2 millimeters in size. I use grinner knots as well for that, and then the main part of the leader is a fly leader which I've doubled back on itself and whipped so that it's less bulky than the knotted fly leaders as they come straight from the manufacturer. I cut the fly leader down so that it's got a reasonable bit of strength by the ring. This is a very strong fish that I'm fighting now. I've cut all the fish playing sequences down, otherwise this would have gone on for about an hour of you watching the water and seeing very little happening. My friend Peter had a couple of fish caught which I never even saw. He's such a humble individual. He doesn't like to sort of show off what's going on. In fact, a very talented individual, because there won't be many people in the time of their life when they're thinking of retiring would go to the Highlands of Scotland and build their own house from scratch with no building experience, but he managed that. He pulled it off very well indeed. Anyway, getting back to the fishing, this thing is really plugging hard. And of course, when you're fishing with smaller hooks and dry fly, there's a limit to how hard you can horse a fish. And the other aspect is I'm actually enjoying the fight. You know, I remember meeting an angler once when I was salmon fishing with a single-handed rod. And he says, "Oh, it's going to take you all day to land a fish." I said, "Well, it's taken me days to catch one, so I don't mind having a bit of fun at the same time." Anyway, we had a really enjoyable day. Luckily, in this little cutout in the bank, we were sheltered from the severity of the wind, which made it easier to see when fish were moving and so on. So we had, between us, we had about 4 fish that I would say would be just over the 3 pound mark.
Nice fish.
Which isn't bad at all. Anyway, most enjoyable.
Fly out, and away you go. Very nice.
Well, if you're wondering why my head's bobbing around in a strange sort of imbecilic fashion, it's because Peter's playing a fish, and at the same time I'm trying to fish myself and keep an eye on what's going on. But I'm also enjoying my friend involved in playing a fish. So I know this is a bit boring when you're watching a video, but please like and subscribe, because it helps my videos being seen. I know once the comments and the likes drop away, YouTube seems to bury them, I think, behind about another 15,000 other ones. Also, if you subscribe to me, have a poke around in my previous videos. You'll probably find there's something else that you enjoy watching, or even having a laugh at, if that's what suits you. Anyway, I'm going to leave you to watch the rest and say bye for now. Bye.
Strong new fish. Oh, it's a strong. Let's fly out. Thank goodness for, there it goes. Say, it wasn't very far out.
No, I can't get the line out of the...
Oh, where have you gone? dark water so hard to see. Say normally with a brown trout, when you get the head up, that's it. Yeah. So it's small fish too. Nice bit of dry stone wall in that, isn't it? That's back in the days when people cared what they were doing.